for those who are missing it. So my first impressions are that quite a few of you were finding it difficult, and I agree, to actually do your workings over on the right-hand side. First thing I want to ask, was it quite obvious where you were supposed to do the workings? Can somebody just put the hand up and just tell me? Yes. So Flo, I don't know. Do I need to go? And yeah. So Flo, if you could unmute, was it okay to find where you had to do the workings?
Yeah, it was really easy to find it. It's just really hard to actually show your workings.
Absolutely, absolutely. Is there anybody who, out of interest, do any of you have the ability to do it with a pen, or are you all having to negotiate it with a mouse? So I'm just looking for hands up. So Phoebe,
You had to do it with a mouse.
you had to do it because some of you were doing it ever so well. So I think it's just a question of sort of mouse control, isn't it? So I think what we'll do another time, if you're quite good with the mouse, it would be really nice for you guys to do the workings. But I know people like Sophie and a few others, Sophie R and a few others, were trying to do it with their workings, but because they were finding it really difficult, it all got in a muddle and they were making mistakes and stuff, which I totally understand. So the whole idea was this was an experiment. So I think going forward, if you're not confident that you can do workings on the side, just pop a little scribble down there, or an X or something, just because I think the software will recognize if you've tried to do it or not. But then just go and do all your workings on a separate piece of paper, and just try and get the answers right, because at the end of the day, that's the key bit. Okay, and then those people, maybe you guys might be able to just upload the workings for me onto Teams, or send me an email with the workings or something. So because you know this is an experiment, so I'm just trying to learn lessons for the next time. The other option I've got, of course, is I can set it up so you're allowed to have more than one go, or there could be a warning. So that might be a good idea. I see, Dan, you still got your hand up. Is there something you wanted to say?
It's just that kind of when I was trying to do it with my mouse,
yeah,
when I clicked with my mouse, it didn't appear there. It like appeared either above it or like kind of to the right or left.
Oh, how annoying! So you had.
I was trying to write, but it kind of wasn't in the right place. So I used the text box
same as me.
things.
Ah, okay. So that was the yeah, right. That's good to know. Was everybody finding there was a calibration problem, or did some people using the mouse find it was all right? Can we just have hands up?
Just it was all right.
Point? It was all right. Okay, that could be just to do with internet speed, or I don't know what. So Dan, when you said you then used the text box, so you were then typing your answers. Is that what you mean, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
I don't know how well it came across, because I couldn't do I couldn't divide.
Yeah,
no, that's
fine. I mean, at the end of the day, I can normally sort of decipher it, because from my point of view, when it was working, it was ever so good, because I could actually literally see each of you as you did a question. At my end, it went either red, you got it wrong, or green, you got it right, and then I could just click on it and I could see your workings. So I think I can't remember who it was now, but one of you was like forgetting to do the second claw, and I could just point that out straight away. So I think this has got potential. Can I just ask it, Charlotte, did you manage to sort out your problem about going beyond question one? Just Charlotte on that, please.
I didn't really get to go beyond question one because I was clicking on the move on button, but it wouldn't let me, and then it timed me out because it said time had run out.
Oh, how annoying. So there is a move on button, is there, Charlotte?
Yeah, I was clicking on that.
Yeah, and I'm sure you were. I wonder why it wouldn't let you do that. Did anybody else find they had a problem with the move on button?
It took a few clicks on the first one, but eventually it did go.
Okay, well that might be a glitch we need to look out for. Hopefully, Charlotte, that was a bit of a one-off, because that seems to have only affected you. But I mean, I'm not going to record the scores or anything today. This was just an experiment, so you don't need to worry you know, about whether you got 0 out of 5 or 5 out of 5 or whatever. As I said, this was just an experiment. Is there anybody there who hasn't been able to log on properly and just couldn't see what the hell the questions were? They just couldn't get going. Okay, right. And anybody want to say anything they thought was good about it compared to Hegarty? Because I'm just trying to, you know, I'm just weighing it all up. So does anybody want to put hands up for some bits of this that they thought was actually quite nice and has got potential? Phoebe, you got your hand up? Oh no, your hand's gone down. Dan.
I think it was quite interesting having the whiteboard bit at the side.
Yeah.
Even if it kind of glitched out a bit for me, I think it's still quite good to have that. 'Cause then, I mean, it can be quite useful that you don't have to kind of like find all your books and stuff for a lesson.
Yeah. I mean, out of interest, when you went and submitted your answers, are they sort of saved? Does it like save all your work?
It says your answers have been saved. When you click submit answer, and then it comes up with a little box on the side saying your answers have been saved.
Yeah.
And then there's a button underneath saying continue to the next question.
Okay, cool. What would be quite interesting, guys, would be if one of you could experiment and see that, like, when you finished it, can you go back and see all your answers? Because
yeah, you can.
You can. You can.
That.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And that also saves your workings on the right hand side, does it?
Yeah, you can see your workings.
Excellent. Oh, well, that's see, and you know, if this was working well, and say you got them all right, it would be ever such a good revision tool. If not only did you have the right answers, but you had all your workings just to remind you what you did. You know, a bit like if you're doing it in your exercise book at school. So apart from the fact that it was hard to write with the mouse, I realise that's a disadvantage, but in a way, you know, that's easily remedied. I can just switch off the bit that you have to do the working. So I could easily have made that bit optional, you see. So maybe another time we do it, I make that optional. So those of you who've got good mouse control are finding that quite easy, like Dan was just saying, or you know, quite happy using the text box, you can do that. But those of you who are finding that really frustrating, like I think Sophie R was, then that's fine. You can just not do it, just do the work on paper. So apart from that, was there anybody who thought they didn't like it, and why? So hands up if there's anybody who just thought it was. I mean, I know you're not familiar with it yet, and you're very familiar with Hegarty, but has anybody thought of any other bits that they thought were annoying with it? Phoebe.
It kept having a timer, which was quite annoying because it put a lot of pressure on not doing it. And then, like, when it got to like half the time, it came up with like a notification or something. And so, like, when you're clicking in between questions, like the clock still goes. So even if like you're not doing the work, it will still keep like counting.
That's interesting. I saw there was a time limit on it, and I could choose that button or not, and I didn't realise it was going to be putting you under the clock really. So I think another time I just won't click that time limit button, or so that was interesting. So because I think I set it for something like 20 minutes. So just so I'm clear, Phoebe, was it like timing you out of a question, or just telling you that you should really be moving on now?
It just like came up like saying moving on, or you're halfway through your time.
Okay,
like
it didn't force you. Okay, yeah, in a way, if I'm trying to get you to practice working at a decent speed and exam speed, I kind of don't mind that. But what I would be annoying would be if you're just about to finish it and it literally forced you to go on to the next question. So it didn't do that, Phoebe.
No.
Okay, but it was putting pressure on you a bit. But in a way, in the back of my mind, that's kind of how I see this being. So whether it's a test or not a test, I want you to be sort of getting a bit of a test experience. So I can see that was a bit annoying, Phoebe, but if you know, in a way, that sort of pressure is a bit what I'm kind of trying to build.
Okay.
So, but no, thank you for that. That's really good feedback. Dan, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, there was like kind of like an advert kind of just above the question bit.
Right.
There was like an advert there. And then directly across from that was a whiteboard, and it was on the same level as the advert, so you couldn't really see the question and the whiteboard at the same time.
Oh, how
so
annoying.
You kind of had to flip between them if you couldn't remember.
Right. Oh, that is annoying. So was that an advert for Dr. Frost Maths, or just an advert for...
Just kind of a random advert. It kind of came up with different things each question.
Okay. How annoying. Maybe that's how he justifies it being free. Did anybody? That's a really good point. That's good to know, Dan. Did anybody notice that being a problem? And did anybody find a way they could almost like click the adverts off?
There was an X button at the top, but you have to do it for each individual question. So.
Okay, so you could delete the advert, but you would have to do it for every question.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you notice that, Dan? That was an option?
No, I didn't notice that. I mean, if I looked, I probably would have found it.
No, that's fine. I mean, we're learning. I didn't even know I had adverts. So, right. Okay, guys. Well, I've got a second form lesson in 5 minutes time, which I need to go and plan. Oh, well, I've planned it. Sorry. I mean, I need to go and get ready for it. So thanks ever so much. I think that's been a useful little tool. It's given me good food for thought. I don't think that this is going to be something I'm going to do every lesson. I'll mull over what we've discussed, but it's been a useful exercise. We haven't had a chance to go over those questions. Is there anybody out there who felt they just couldn't do the actual maths? I know, Sophie, you and Flo, you were saying you were getting a few wrong, but do you understand the maths? And were you just getting it wrong because of all this blooming other stuff going on that you just couldn't really concentrate? Sophie, do you understand the maths, do you think?
Not really.
Okay, I'll tell you what, we'll start off the next lesson, guys. I'll go over those 5 questions, okay? We'll start the next lesson looking at those 5, and then we'll do that as a starter, and then we'll move on from there, because if 1 or 2 of you are feeling you're still not rock solid with the maths, then that's worth doing. Okay, guys, thanks ever so much. This is being recorded, so if you want to play back this second half of the lesson, it will upload shortly. Okay, take care, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.